Good morning. We are in Provo, Utah today.
Yeah, we came south today. We still have to go up north to go to Goodwill, but we had an errand to run this morning here, so we are going to stop in to the Provo Deseret Industries thrift store, and I like this one. It's a very eclectic mix. This is a college town, but there's also a lot of people that have lived here their whole lives, so you get a really good mix of stuff that's donated.
Our challenge today is going to be to buy 6 items for $60 or less because we have 6 new cottage colors coming out today, and we're going to be using one color on each item. Okay, so 1 cart today because we're doing this challenge together.
All right.
Doesn't look like they're super busy. I think they opened, what, like 40 minutes ago?
So the beginning rush is probably already gone this morning, so we can just casually shop on what's here.
Well, and the nice thing is we're looking for things to paint. So usually when we're looking for specifically for thrift flips that we're painting, it's not as desirable because it's usually ugly stuff.
Say that 5 times fast.
Thrift, no, I can't. All right, so we like this. Looks like the paint's not doing a good job, so maybe we can take the metal off, paint it, and then put it back on.
It's like stained on the inside or something, one of those type of
It's
jars.
only $1, so that's not going to take much of our $60 budget.
I like the silver or brass or whatever this is.
Yeah, that's cool. Not for our challenge, but here's a crystal bowl for
don't leave that.
$5. Oh, MSRP $45, made in Japan.
Oh,
Look
sad.
at that. Ooh, lead crystal. Not for the challenge, but that's cute.
They just got crystals sitting around on the shelves over here.
For $1.
Eventually, we're going to have to get out of the glass and plates and go down the wood section if we really want to find something to paint, I think.
Listen, you have to buy the good stuff when you find it. I told you that mugs were important.
Are you going to get that?
It's $1. I feel like I have to.
All right. The dollar made you do it?
Yeah. All right, so again, not for the challenge, but these are cute for the salt and pepper. Although, how do you do this? One's like, oh, they taped it.
Is it broken?
Yeah, it's broken. Shoot, this is really cute too. Maybe that's why it's here, because it's broken. Hello, scalloped bowl. It's got a couple of cracks, but nothing major. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna get it because it's cute. This is cute. I love little drawers. I don't like the hardware on it, but it's only $2, so we can change out the hardware. Okay, so not a challenge item, but I'm gonna pick this up for $1. I'm not sad about that. So I saw this from across the room and I was like, ooh, Zeb. It's $15. It's kind of wobbly, but it definitely fits in our budget for the challenge, and we could paint that in juniper, maybe?
That would be fun. I could sturdy it up.
Yeah.
But look, it's going to need...
Yeah, I just need some extra screws and glues. We can get that done. If we try to buy more smaller things, then we can take time to get this one done. Is it going to be warm enough to spray?
No, not today.
Okay, I can brush it. Let's get it. I also need this chair. It's $5. That's perfect to paint. All right, I think this one or this one. Oh, I'm going to do this one. I think this is the perfect lamp to flip. That's cool. How much is this one? I don't see a price tag. Well, it won't be over $8 because that's what the rest of them are. So Zeb's getting that bench all squared away because we got to get a tag for it. But this is only $8. I like the edge. It's made for outdoors, and I think it would be good in any of the colors that we have. So we spent $54. So that was for everything. So I still feel like this counts as a $60 challenge. We bought 6 things and a few more. I think I should have thought my budget again, but I didn't want to have too small of a budget in case I found something really awesome. So I was like, 60 is more than enough. So I don't think we're gonna go to Goodwill. I feel like we have enough for this challenge, plus our thrift haul.
The Goodwill is always great. We find good things there, but we have enough. Like, when's enough for the week, right?
The Deseret Industries thrift store definitely had plenty, so we're gonna go home and get to painting. This represents $54 we spent minus the bench, so I think we did pretty good. I'm trying to pick 6 things. I think for sure the chair, the lamp minus the shade, because this is just like paper and it's broken, so I'm just gonna paint the lamp. The urn, so that's 3 things. One of these boxes,
I think we can do both of these boxes
4,
and
5,
this.
and then this 6. You want to paint the glass, or you want to paint this key?
Can we just throw the key as a bonus 7th item? We could paint it really fast.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So we'll do 7. 7 things. We
All
change
right.
the challenge. We're allowed to do that. So let's move aside what we need to just photograph for the haul, and we're gonna get going on these 7 projects. And hopefully some point in the next week or so, we'll get to that bench because it's gonna be awesome. Now that we're getting ready to paint, we can show you the 6 new colors we're so excited about. Cottage colors in Anvil, Pacific, Plum Pudding, Barn Quilt, Juniper, and Provincial. We've been working on these shades for the better part of a year, and we are so excited to be using them and show them off to you. You can purchase all these paint and products at jamirayvintage.com. This video is part of a collaboration with a bunch of friends of ours, so we'll drop a link below if you want to see many uses of the cottage color paint. Another super exciting thing that you probably noticed is that the cottage color line by DIY Paint is now coming out in 8-ounce sample sizes, not just in the new colors, but in our existing cottage colors as well.
Okay, so we think we got the colors figured out. We've got Pacific for the chair, plum pudding for this little organizer, drawers, and then barn quilt for the black one. We're doing this also based off of like colors that'll look good coming through. Provincial on the jar and on the lamp. And then Juniper is gonna be going on that big planter.
And then Anvil on our keys.
Oh, Anvil on the key, that makes sense.
Looks like a skeleton key, right?
That makes sense.
In an effort to reuse things, we've just got this Citrusol watered down in my Dawn Power Wash. You can make like 44 gallons with this. It's what we use to clean most of our stuff. It degreases it. You can go heavy or lighter depending on your piece. And I'm just gonna clean it so that way we're ready for paint. I don't know where this has lived before.
Well, this piece is gross. I think a small child has eaten a lot of meals at this and no one scrubbed it in between.
Yeah, so we might let this sit a minute and then wipe this down. We're painting Barn Quilt. We did stir it up really good. One of the things to make note is that it's gonna read kind of pink, but it will get more red and darker as it dries. But it is a barn red, so it does lean a little bit that way.
Also, you picked the smallest brush ever.
Well, I needed to have a different brush for each color, so I made an executive
Did you stir the
decision.
bottom of that?
Yeah, I stirred it all up. It is really important to stir your paint up well. We cannot emphasize that enough. With every cottage color, you've got to stir it up. So you'll notice this pot, that's where it stops. We're only gonna paint that far down too because that's where the line of dirt's gonna end.
Where the plant goes.
Yeah. But this paint is rated for outdoors. I mean, you don't want to leave it in the winter time outside if you don't have to. I mean, we do because we're lazy, but like advising take it in heavy weather or winter or cover it. Martha Stewart covers all her pots. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
And her boxwood hedges. We and her, we're friends on Instagram, so that's how I know.
Well,
She doesn't know it, but we are friends.
you know, weatherproof and winterproof are two different things. I've seen ice and water break apart huge rocks.
True story. That's gonna be good. Stir, stir, stir. Even if you think it's mixed, you want to stir, especially a new can, anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute.
Jami always just uses a butter knife and then we just wash them and use them again.
It's fine. It's non-toxic, and this was 25 cents at DI. We're gonna turn this back into a skeleton key. It'll look good. And then I'll like lightly distress it, bring back some of the wood.
Well, it's a dark enough stain underneath. It should just look like wear.
Yeah, it'll look good.
I mean, granted, this is a giant key. What door does this open?
The door to my heart.
Oh, it's that big?
Yeah, I have a big heart.
All right, what's color on this one? I already forgot.
Plum pudding. I mean, it's interesting that we're painting over red, but this just isn't a shade of red that I like. Barn Quilt is a red that I love. Some shades are not my favorite. So I actually think this will look good peeking through this plum pudding. It's always gonna look streaky the first coat, don't stress out. By the second coat with some touch-ups, it'll be good.
Also, you and these tiny brushes.
Well, I have to paint around the hardware.
Oh, you're not painting the hardware on this one?
No, and the hardware doesn't come out. It's like permanently attached.
It's glued in. I gave it a good tug and it wasn't going anywhere.
Unless I want to remove the drawer lining, which I don't. I'm just gonna paint around it.
I'm going to take a few wagers that this might be the most popular new color. Since we came out with cottage colors, people have been asking for a true navy, and Pacific is a very good navy.
I don't know. I feel like Provincial's gonna be.
Provincial might also be a front runner. It's also a really, really good neutral. We have a few heavy hitters on this release, I think. We got some good colors. The nice thing about painting this big flat surface is I can get the paint on here, smooth out my brush strokes pretty well, and then it's got a self-leveler, so I don't really have to stress a bunch of brush strokes or anything. Whatever's under your paint will show through, so if you've got a chippy finish you're painting over, you'll see that, but the paint itself levels really nice and smooth and flat.
Behind Zeb, I'm painting Provincial on this artichoke finial lamp, and I'll also paint the finial on it, and then we'll sell it without the lampshade because the one, by the time we got home, that one had a small hole in it, and it was a cheap shade anyways. It was bringing the lamp down.
What I really love about Provincial is it's like a brownish, grayish taupe, and depending on the lighting, it doesn't pull blue. It's like a brown gray, and it's really earthy, and it's great for neutrals.
All of these colors are really sophisticated, kind of cottage cozy. A lot of what we've seen when we've been traveling in England and France and all over Europe, we've seen these really rich colors, not just pastels. And the nice thing too is, like, here it is on a resin. Now here we've got glass, and I could just paint it right over glass too. It will be streaky because it's super shiny, but after a few coats we'll be good to go. I'm going to paint over the glass and the metal, and then I'll distress bring back some metal and then put the metal topper. And I'm going to stop right here because that topper is going to scratch anything that I paint off there. So I'll just go to the edge.
This topper here.
It fits really tight. So I'm just going to go right to the edge and then paint the glass too.
Coat number 2 going on with anvil on this key. We're gonna get everything second coated now, and then we are going to do some fun stenciling, stamping. We might do some transfers. I don't know where this is gonna go. We've got a bunch of fun things we can do on these projects now. I'm gonna have to do like a second coat montage where I speed through everything and play music. All right, this jar is super slick, and I heat gunned it trying to get it dry to put the second coat on, and I bubbled the paint. So now I'm gonna sand it and see if we can salvage it. If not, just fair warning, if your glass is super, super slick, like a high gloss finish, maybe do a quick sand on it or primer underneath. That's gonna help the paint out. We have painted glass successfully before, but this jar is just, it's fighting me. You ever have that where a project you think is gonna go easy, something you've done a lot of times before, and then all of a sudden, see, now I can't even sand it off of here. Just trying to get a smooth spot so I can repaint over this. But anyway, you ever have a project that you think is just gonna go super smooth and easy, you've done it a bunch of times, and then it does not go as expected. I should have been patient and let it just dry and then put another coat on and then let it just dry, but I was impatient and heat gunned it. Part of this channel is also learning how to mess up and fix your mistakes. Okay, thin coat over the top, gonna let that dry really well. Not gonna heat gun it. Then we'll come back and do a final coat.
I want to show you how silky smooth this is. Totally just brushed on, nothing special. Like, it just lays so flat. If you look really close, you can see the brush strokes, but you can't feel them or anything.
Well, and there are like some nicks and dings in the wood that you can see, but that's fine because we're going to distress this anyway and bring back some of that age because it's a used chair.
All right, we're going to gonna be using the Lover of Flowers Iron Orchid Designs transfer on a few of our pieces. This is a sheet from it. I think it comes with 8 different sheets, so you can do a bunch of different projects. This one is gonna go on the seat, and then we're gonna do a couple on the little boxes. It's gonna be cute. All right, Zeb, tell me when it's centered.
Oh goodness, go for it.
Oh, that looks good because I'm using the bars. Like that?
I don't think you can mess it up.
Well, I think if I could, I would. Okay.
This is super fresh.
It's fine. It's dried enough on the top. It's better if you let it dry like a couple hours. The longer it dries, the easier it is to get it off of the transfer.
Let's see if we can get this centered on here. This is from that same transfer, Lover of Flowers. We're gonna go with that right there. What I tried was just to make sure that this was lined up as close as I could. All right, I think we're ready to pull that up. A little burnish. It goes right on that cottage color because it's got a built-in sealer, so it's really easy. This has been sitting for a minute. Let me see. Okay, we are getting some come off. I'm just gonna do a light distress on this, and then we're gonna white wax this one. It's gonna look like oxidized stone or cement. I think with these pock marks that they've put in here, it's gonna look a lot like cement.
All right, you can see that it's all the way detached because it's gotten kind of opaque. Isn't that when you can't see through it? Ta-da! Look at that. And then all you have to do is take your little backing and go over the top of it and make sure it's burnished down on there. We're gonna lightly distress this. We will seal over the top of the transfer, but just the transfer. For distressing, we've got 320. Just go along the edges. And then I'm gonna lightly go over the transfer just to kind of age the top of the seat. And also it'll age the transfer. You'll see the white coming through, and it kind of makes it go from like a sticker look to like it's actually aged on the piece. You don't have to do this part, but this is something I always like to do. So I'm gonna age kind of where the seat is. I'm gonna age all the edges, and then we'll seal this up.
I've got some DIY white wax. You can see we've used this a bunch. Just going to put it on here, and then in a moment I will wipe it back. I'm not gonna let it sit very long because I don't want it to cure up. I just want it to be down in all the cracks and give us like that stone cement look.
And this sealer is not, like the wax is a sealer, but this piece does not need sealer. It is clearly, in this case, just for decoration. So if you didn't want to white wax it, you could be done. While Zeb is white waxing, I'm just gonna be using DIY clear wax, and I'm just waxing the seat where the transfer is because it already has a sealer everywhere else. So I'm just sealing over the top of the transfer. I'll let this sit, and then I'll buff it up in the morning, and we'll be good to go. You could use a liquid sealer as well, but I like the wax because it's matte, and this finish is kind of matte anyways. I'll just do the whole seat so there's no stopping and starting.
This wipes off so nice and easy. Okay, it's that time when we're starting to wrap things up. That box is getting distressed. And then this just needs hit on like the hide spots on the edge of this key here. Maybe right here around that. Doesn't need anything crazy. If you didn't want to distress, you don't have to. That's just our preferred look. Goes well in our shop. And I'll take the orbital and I'll sand this all back to wood where we had it down on the drop cloth and some paint got on the backside. For this part of the transfer, I think I'm gonna cut these out. I might not use the actual poem. We'll save that for something else, and then use this on the top. Do the 2 sides and do a flower on the top. Now I'm gonna distress it and give it some age. Dark wax, we're just gonna go. We're gonna put it on here, see what we get. I think I got some crackle, I got some chippiness. It was reacting weird with something that was on the glass, even though we'd scrubbed it. This has been a project on this little jar. Hopefully it looks like something when we're done. Probably not in this video, but later down the road, I'll have to do a comparison on this versus gray skies versus crockery so you guys can see them all together. Crockery and gray skies are other colors we have in the lineup for the cottage colors. Well, most of that's coming off. I mean, this is on here good now. I'm scratching that with my fingernail, but I don't know what was happening. Okay, let's see. Comes on and off pretty easy. Doesn't look like it's scraping it. We're gonna call that a win. All right, let's see if I can get this distressed. We want to bring some of that white back through. Okay, dark wax. Give it some good age. Yeah, that's sitting down in all those little holes really nice.
Thanks for following along with us while we do our 6-item challenge under $60. I actually think it was probably under like $25.
But really 7 items.
And we think you guys are really gonna love these new cottage colors by JRV. If you need to buy any of the paint products seen today, visit JamiRayVintage.com. We're gonna drop a link below for the collaboration for all the other videos you can watch. And if you like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Oh, something we were gonna talk to him about and I completely forgot. You can use it on cabinets too.
Oh yeah, paint your cabinets with our paint. See you later.
When you're lost and no one's there.